Bhutan, the Himalayas' last remaining kingdom, was for a long time cut off from the rest of the world. Sandwiched between China and India, between the icy 8,000-meter-high peaks of the north and the tropical jungles of the south, this small country was never colonized. The country is now opening up, while still hoping to preserve its age-old mystical traditions. The entire nation is walking on a tightrope.
What exactly makes you happy?
Electricity and a cell phone mast.
The land of the Thunder Dragon, as Bhutan is known in the country's official language, was until recently one of the world's poorest countries, and yet it has a reputation for being a happy nation. Is this simply a successful foreign policy PR strategy, or is there more to it?
I'll give you some examples of what would make me happy. Maybe it's different for you, but I would be happy if I had an airplane. Or if there were never fighting, only peace. What do you need to be happy?
Thimphu, the country capital, has the one and only regulated intersection. In 1962, the first road was built here. The West influences the lifestyle of this city of 80,000 inhabitants. 27-year-old Choki Zangmo is a research scientist employed by the government. Like many of Bhutan's young civil servants and academics, she was educated overseas and is highly motivated to work for her country. Choki works for an institution that is unique and in a field for which there is no existing discipline of study. She is a senior official at the Ministry for Happiness. In Bhutan, every new project and every law is studied according to how much happiness it generates. Despite having opened up to modern Western influences, the ghosts and demons of the old animistic traditions are still pervasive. At traditional religious festivals, a belief in the supernatural and a cell phone culture collide. "31-year-old Karma Wangdi is also a senior official for the Ministry for Happiness. Together with Choki and 6 other team leaders, he's under orders of the Dragon King to track citizens' happiness to the remotest corners of the land. A unique study will evaluate the achievements and failures that have resulted from the country's opening. At the Institute for Bhutan Studies in Thimphu, a questionnaire consisting of a total of up to 1,000 questions was developed for this purpose. A random sample of 8,000 citizens was selected. This represents 1% of the population of a country the size of Switzerland, with a population size of Frankfurt. Instead of gross national product, the citizens' well-being, gross national happiness, should become the criteria for policy decisions. This principle, developed by Jigme Singye Wangchuk, the country's 4th king and the father of the current Dragon King, has caused an international sensation. Karma Wangdi organizes further copies of the printed questionnaire while his team finds lodgings in the country's interior. Karma and Choki belong to the generation that has lived through the nation's radical transformation. When they were children, there were neither roads nor electricity. The first tourists arrived in 1974, and in 1982 the first airport was built. In 1999, the Dragon Nation was the last country in the world to get television. The Buddhist idea of an interconnected world of sentient beings promotes a positive vision of a globalization balanced with nature. Their white collars of Karma's team announced that these are visitors from the capital. A lack of local knowledge makes the job more difficult.
Where can I find the mayor?
Up there.
Thank you. It'd be nice if you could show us the way to Ugyen Dema's house. You can point out the house from here. Which one of you has Ugyen Dema?
Not us, sir.
Not every computer-generated address is actually accurate, especially not in Bhutan. The happiness moderators traveled the country for 9 months, visiting a different house every day. Karma organizes his team and secures the participants much-needed trust.
Hello, we're interrupting your schedule.
Nice that you're here. Have a seat.
Thank you. I need to move on.
Now and then, even the issue of body size comes up. Sometimes it can take all day to complete a questionnaire. The participants accept this with astounding serenity. Choki and her team have left behind the few drivable roads. They frequently face long treks. In the community center, a number of participants are questioned simultaneously. This increases people's willingness to take part.
You shouldn't sit in groups. You're not listening to me. You're sitting too close together. You can't follow like that. Get started.
Okay, like this?
No, keep more distance.
How old are you, Mother?
Me? I'm 46.
Does anybody chew or smoke tobacco?
No one in the family.
Have you ever chewed or smoked tobacco, Grandmother?
Never.
How much doma do you chew?
Sometimes I take 12 pieces a day. Sometimes I can only handle 4. Since I lost my teeth, I have to crush it with a mortar first.
Do you have a landline?
We got rid of it when the cell phones arrived.
Do you have a computer?
No,
Refrigerator?
we do.
How many?
1.
Washing machine?
We have a washing machine.
How many?
Just 1.
Radio?
We don't have a radio. We have a vacuum cleaner. Up until 1999, televisions, phones and the internet were prohibited. Their admittance set a radical and irreversible change into motion.
What are your expectations? Will your income improve in the coming years? Will it decline or will it remain the same?
It will remain the same. Because in the future, I'll own the same amount of land. We sell part of our harvest to earn cash for shopping.
Let's talk about your annual income. Is it sufficient for the entire family?
It's enough, as long as I manage all purchases.
The annual per capita income stands at $5,800. The country's young flood to the cities. Unemployment is on the rise and rural underdevelopment is increasing. To combat this trend, an intensive expansion of the road network is underway.
And here in this district? How do you rate the work of the department responsible for building roads to every village?
They get work done. Where there is no street, they build one. They're building a bridge here.
The question as to whether modern progress increases happiness isn't an easy one for a country like Bhutan. Road building doesn't bring joy to everyone.
Pollution is becoming worse from year to year. However, there are strict environmental laws. Would it be better, in your opinion, to make laws even more stringent?
Yes, it would. An advantageous side effect of the survey is the indirect scrutiny of the country's corruption.
Say a dasho, a high-ranking person, assigns his subordinates to work on his private projects. He sends them to his house, where they attend to his private business. Does this happen?
That's the way it is. By the end, we know which mayor, which magistrate, which businessman abuses his position or is willing to accept gifts.
High-ranking people are issued cars for official use, but they drive them wherever they please. Is that the case?
Yes, it is, 100%. Kama Wangdi tries to prepare for the interviews ahead. Bhutan's register of citizens has its limitations.
Most of the houses are locked because my past respondent has migrated.
Good day, Mother. Could you tell me where Tashering's house is?
Right over there.
Right there? We're conducting interviews, that's why I ask. This one or that one? This one? Thank you.
Kama Wangdi constantly checks not only that the right participant is located, but also whether the interview method has followed the prescribed rules.
Hello. Does Tashering live here? I'd sent a friend here. Okay. Is my friend here? Is he? We're sorry to disturb you.
The Bhutan King's government do not count on growth in consumption. Even today, hotel groups and fast food chains are prohibited. All new buildings must be modeled on ancient farmhouses. There are important restrictions on plastic, and over half the country is under the protection of nature conservation, an idyll that has an aftertaste of coercion. The wearing of regional costumes is compulsory in the workplace.
One last sample.
We're here about the questionnaire. We're from the Office of Gross National Happiness. We need to interview 11 people. We want to interview them individually and spread ourselves out here.
The rats cause us a lot of work. We can protect our fields from the wild animals. We shout and ring bells, but mice and rats can't be chased off.
They're attracted to the water. They're happy in the water.
If we work over here, the rats eat over there. They can't be chased off.
When the road ends, Bhutan's happiness cavaliers continue on horseback. This is largely uncharted territory. They tackle wild rivers, steep and narrow paths, and changing climate zones. Even on horseback, this nationwide happiness survey presents many dangers and challenges. It is difficult to find people fit enough to take on this job. Choki is motivated by her Buddhist holistic view of life. The Himalayas is a young and highly active mountain range. Land and mudslides are a daily feature. Paths are only temporary. The country's natural resources support the profound transformation that is underway. Thanks to hydropower, 93% of the 88,000 households are already supplied with electricity, even despite the inaccessibility of the terrains. The Ministry of Happiness's representatives will establish whether and how this achievement has benefited village communities. Life in the mountain villages is isolated and basic. Whether a person has a roof over his head is just one of the almost 1,000 questions asked repeatedly.
You said that you live in a hut. Do you have problems when it rains?
Yes, because I don't have a proper roof. I get bamboo from the jungle. I get bamboo from the jungle to weave mats.
How is it in the winter?
It's better.
Don't you freeze then?
It is cold, but better than in summer. The snow won't fall into the house, but in the summer, the rain gets in.
Do you trust people?
I don't know how people are in other places. I've never been anywhere. But in my area, I can trust everybody. The traditional rural architecture of closely packed houses says much about the well-being of a self-sufficient community in which money plays a minor role. At heights of up to 4,000 meters, the thin air acts as a filter against triviality. Trust is more important than consumption. Here, until recently, the wheel of time came to a near standstill. With electricity and the introduction of television, followed by the internet and cell phones, things began to move. DVDs are the valued treasures of the new era. The younger generation adopts the new media naturally and seamlessly, not least in order to preserve very personal moments of happiness.
We met each other at the Aoli festival on Valentine's Day. He told me of his love for me. I was so glad to be with him. I had to think of him all the time. I never got tired of it. We were always happy. It was our dream to have children. We bought a doll and acted as if it were our child. We carried it around and we were happy. We helped each other with our work and we were done quickly. We held hands in public places. We weren't embarrassed at all.
The formidable dzongs, formerly fortress bastions of monastic power, are religious as well as administrative centers. Here in the provinces, feudal strongholds, the capital's happiness investigators are like supplicants. The Ministry of Happiness's budget is negligible, so the researchers rely on the goodwill and support of the local government.
Foremost, we need lodging near Kurotang.
How many people, madame?
15 of us.
There are 15 of us. There's supposed to be a room at the hospital training center. At least so I heard.
Beneath majestic peaks that no mountaineer can sully, Kamawangdi is back en route, checking his team's work. In a country where the king's astrologers still look into the future using dice fashioned out of human bones, he tries to conform to high Western standards of social research.
Your son lives in the capital. Does he send you money?
He's still a student. I have to send him money.
And relatives?
They don't give me anything. I have to take care of everything myself. But as they say here, the fish won't die as long as he has a little water. Why do you ask me such questions? What is this actually about?
The intense questioning also arouses distrust. Is it possible to study happiness in this way?
If we can't get anything done here, maybe we have to move on. Nobody there? Wait a while. Pima's waiting too. Are you interviewing Lahakpa?
No, Namgai.
Does she live here? We'll keep looking.
The monsoon rains have set in, but the project's scope doesn't allow for long breaks.
Father, how is it here? Do your neighbors come to help when you have difficult work to do? And do you go over the next day to help the neighbors? Is the neighborhood supportive?
That's how we do it, sir.
Is there ever trouble in the village?
Yes, that happens. Such things occur. Their cow strays into my field. She eats to her heart's content. She walks all over the place.
Or another example. A married man goes into the neighbor's house to sleep with the neighbor's wife. Does that happen here? Do people get into fights over such things?
No, sir. That never happened here.
Just problems because of the cows that raid other people's gardens.
Highly personal questions about cohabitation and sexual orientation are asked with surprising openness. The Happiness Index researchers penetrate all areas of life. Data protection issues are largely disregarded.
What are you afraid of?
I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of anything.
According to our beliefs, nature spirits are in this rock, under this tree, and on that mountain. Is this what you believe?
So it is.
Are you sure?
Quite certain. We can't even whistle near such trees and rocks.
No whistling.
All I have to do is drop a plastic bottle there. Right away I fall ill. If I dared to think of chopping down such a tree, it would fall on me.
High mountain ridges cast their shadows across the nearby cloud layer. Choki and her team have once again found lodging. The boss cooks for herself. Sometimes she will multitask and take care of an important problem that has arisen during the day's interviews.
Today I was at the district clerk. I told the supervisor there about your problems with the wild boars. That they're running rampant. Herds as large as 20. Isn't that right?
Yes, exactly.
They barely eat anything, but trample everything. The harvest spoils on the ground. A huge problem.
That's too much you're cutting.
Or not enough. Want to bet on that, brother?
Following a 3-day walk, they reached the village of Laya, populated by a partially nomadic people. Here at the glacier's edge, the legendary Yeti was allegedly seen.
You've never heard of gross national happiness? Not even on the radio or on TV?
No.
Is your father still alive?
I have two fathers.
Two fathers? How so?
I don't know either.
And you call them both father? I've never heard of that.
The Laya are an independent people whose livelihood is based on the yak, both as a pack and a working animal. They speak their own dialect. Their culture is strongly matriarchal.
How many lovers do you have?
I'd be happy if I had one. But here in Laya, nobody wants to share pleasure with me.
How many times can you have sex in one night?
Only twice, I'm afraid.
Fundamental questions about happiness and cohabitation are universal. Here, they are often discussed and people give it a carefree smile.
Is there ever any violence?
When the men get drunk, they throw rocks at the houses.
Do you have any credit accounts?
No.
Not a penny owed to the state?
No.
Choki checks the last few days' questionnaires and tries to get an overview. She follows up on contradictory answers.
Okay, no missing values. But I'm just curious because it's rated 10 from 0 to 10. So let's just check his health. Okay, it's excellent. He's very satisfied with the services. If you look at his time used and if he does physical exercise. Oh, he stays by himself. He is a lonely old man. He's the main source of stress. I'm old in fear of death.
Betel nut, called doma here, is the common drug of choice in Bhutan and is supposed to help against life's everyday hardship. Offering someone doma is a sign that friendship is being extended. It is mildly stimulating and intoxicating. Doma is a symbol of conviviality, with harmful side effects.
Whether I am sad or happy, I just have to chew doma. I don't know what kind of an addiction that is. I become pretty grumpy if my children don't send me any doma. Only the strongest will do. When I don't have any doma, I go crazy. I can't work without it. Do you want some doma? Take some. Eat. You don't want any?
No.
I know you don't like doma.
The concept of gross national happiness is founded on 4 pillars: environmental protection, fair socio-economic development, conservation and promotion of a vibrant culture, and good governance. But nobody can guarantee personal happiness. The more urban an environment, the more happiness seems to be tied to material values.
What would you need to be happy?
I need millions to be happy. I need land, a beautiful house, a good piece of land for farming, a rice field and dry land, a car for taking trips, money for my children's education, so that I can afford for them to study abroad.
In Bhutan, the demands of a society that exists between modern industry and profoundly religious structures have undergone an uneasy synthesis. When, in 1979, the fourth dynastic king was asked about the level of Bhutan's gross domestic product, he replied, "I'm not interested in gross domestic product. I'm interested in gross national happiness." Since then, this has even become part of the national constitution. From the Western viewpoint, modernization is always connected to a growth in personal freedom, regardless of background or gender. In Bhutan, religious patriarchal traditions dominate even amongst the liberal young.
Should women be forbidden to enter monasteries and to touch the bows of archers because they are impure?
It's not that simple. According to our religion, women are not allowed to enter certain holy places. This doesn't apply to all, but it applies to the shrines of the glorious goddesses. Women should not have access there. This is not allowed because women menstruate. During the course of the countrywide journey, the interviews repeatedly throw up surprising encounters. This is a loading point with high profit margins. Cordyceps, a fungus-infected caterpillar, is the Himalayas' most sought-after aphrodisiac. In the spring, whole villages go in search of these valuable caterpillars.
480,000 per kilo.
That's $10,000.
450,000.
Let me see.
Although they are amongst the country's most wealthy citizens, the ministry's random sample selector didn't catch the cordyceps traders.
We'll pay top prices for the big ones, only for best quality. Good day, sir.
You're selling cordyceps?
We're buying. They're very expensive.
We have to haggle until we can agree.
Are they still alive when they come from the mountains, or are they dead already?
Well, in the summer they are just caterpillars. But after the summer and the fall, they turn into a mushroom. They die.
You need to be lucky to find them. It seems that very few Bhutanese are as naturally happy as Ken Paul.
About $3,400 for this.
When he was 6, monks identified him as the reincarnation of a 16th century holy man.
The nature gods protect me. That's why I'm doing so well. There's no doubt that's the reason. It's not because of me, but because I am the reincarnation of Benchen Khenpo. The gods are watching over me. All my wishes are being fulfilled. In my entire life, I've never had any problems. And I won't have any problems for the rest of my life. I know that my life will end happily.
I am married to Khenpo, and I got everything I wished for. All my dreams have been fulfilled. As a fact, he has changed my whole life. He simply gave me everything, and I will certainly never forget that.
Following a monastery education, Khenpo took life into his own hands. He went to the US and became an LA taxi driver, then a stuntman. Devout Buddhists revere him. These days he is married for the second time, a film producer and an advisor to the king.
I was in America when you were making that film. I was there for a month. I called you from there. Do you remember?
These monastery school children won't be exposed as reincarnations. They will soon measure their happiness against TV images and Western standards. Today, illiteracy still stands at 57%, and every 14th child is brought into the world by a teenager. This is set to change fast. The happiness index even assesses the effectiveness of sex education.
If one doesn't use a condom, one can contract a venereal disease. Do you agree?
If we use one.
We won't get any.
In my day, we didn't bother much with condoms, but today you could really contract something if you don't use one. The equality gradient between city and rural areas is growing fast. Nowadays, approximately 87% of Bhutan's poor live in rural areas.
Are you here for the interview? You're circling the temple?
That's why I'm here.
You're the temple guard?
There must be something that you'd especially want, something important to you, something that makes you happy. You said there were some things. What do you mean by everything? Name something for me.
If my children are happy, then I'm happy too.
What else?
If all sentient beings would never die, I'd be the happiest grandma alive. I have a little land. I'm happy with that.
Karma calls his team together again.
I've gone over half of your questionnaires. There's been a lot of improvement. But with half of them, something isn't right. Mistakes are still being made. You have to continue to improve. Look at the corrections I made. Code number 21, contradictory information. Don't be satisfied with everything the interviewee says. This isn't just asking questions. It's an interview. We need correct information. Contradictory info is worthless. You need to ask precise follow-ups. Proceed analytically. Think. If you receive answers to your questions that contradict answers in another context, you need to investigate the matter. No contradictory responses. Think as you go.
Through the agrarian valleys, progress is good. When someone isn't in, they may be on their way to the fields. Interviews often take place in the car. Unusual situations require unconventional solutions.
Just as we receive this life, we also have to leave it again. We all fall to dust. Your parents, your ancestors must have already passed on. Are you afraid of them?
At times, I think of my old parents.
Are they dead?
Yes.
Then you get scared?
Yes, I get scared.
When do you usually visit an astrologer?
If I or someone in the family is sick, once the astrologer diagnoses the problem, things get better quickly.
Do you feel better when you consult him?
Then I feel better.
You believe firmly in astrology?
I do believe.
Have you always?
And my ancestors before me. Bhutan has a very small middle class and almost no small businesses. This weakens the economy. The owner of a small shop can consider herself fortunate.
It makes me very happy that I'm the owner of this shop, that I'm not dependent on anyone to satisfy my needs. In addition, this is a peaceful country. There are no wars, no bomb attacks. It's almost heavenly here.
Are you satisfied when you look at your life? You are a human being. Are you happy about that?
Happy to be human, you mean? That is a happy fate, a case of good fortune. We can never know whether we will be reincarnated as humans, healthy, with all 5 senses. I appreciate it very much.
Getting by as an independent doesn't mean you have found happiness. The survey has a comprehensive section on this point. Beyond a certain level of yearly income, the relationship between money and happiness clearly decreases. Apparently, the connection between income and contentment isn't quite as close as economics has assumed. Some people's inner state is what prevents them from finding happiness.
In the past 2 or 3 weeks, you've experienced a broad spectrum of feelings deep inside you. For example, were you very angry? Really furious?
Very.
Often or seldom?
It seems to me that I'm almost always angry. It doesn't take much. When I see happy people, I admire them. If I compare myself to unhappy people, I feel pretty much okay. Maybe the children do not treat me well due to my anger. Actually, I envy other families. I think other families are better. They are good to each other. Perhaps their children take drugs. Perhaps they drink, but they like each other.
Father, in the past 4 weeks, have you felt worried or even depressed? Often, sometimes, or seldom?
Often.
How often?
Approximately half the time. But otherwise I feel halfway well.
What makes you sad and depressed?
When I can't accomplish anything, when I feel ill, also sometimes when I just sit around. Then it feels like as if someone poured cold water on my heart. What measures are used when it comes to society's outsiders, the sick or disabled?
It's not easy to be born a human being. When I'm sad, and I feel very lonely, and I have to see how happy others are and how they enjoy their lives. What do they think of me? They probably think, this poor, crippled guy, it would be better if he died when he came out of his mother's belly. I can never be happy and satisfied with my life. I know exactly when people see me, then they think, he speaks so eloquently. If only he didn't have this handicap. I feel my life is like a darkness. All the lights are turned off. Even if everyone around me is happy, their happiness never reaches my heart.
The happiness survey has had a considerable response. 7,142 of the printed questionnaires were completed, with around 1% of the population being questioned. Nobody knows how comprehensively or beneficially all the collected information can be assessed. In the meantime, new elections have taken place in Bhutan. In the land of the Thunder Dragon, parliamentary democracy has withstood its second test, and the opposition has secured a clear victory. A new hand will now be dealt. It appears that the winning opposition party is perching on growth more than on gross national happiness. The 21st century has taken Bhutan by storm. The protocols of the unique happiness study are being stored. The analyses show a happiness index of 42%. The question of whether the land of the Thunder Dragon has found a reliable means for measuring its country's gross national happiness remains open. One thing is certain. On its own, economic growth inadequately reflects a society's reality, and the need for holistic measures is paramount.
Ugian, come do the dishes.
There are some interesting questions. How happy I am on a scale from 1 to 10.
What did you say?
I gave myself an 8.
8 is a very good score. Then I'd have to say 10. I don't believe they can measure my happiness. It is so personal, and it depends on the situation.
That's what I think too.
Well-being and happiness flourish through a delicate network of material as well as intangible assets, a balance between work, leisure, and nature. Nobody is happy in and of himself, and we all impact on the happiness of others. This is a universally valid state maxim that will hold, irrespective of Bhutan's future journey.